And we finally got the blend of the chord at the end. See, this is music you haven't probably grown up with, but that's okay. You're finding the chord. Let's find it, measure 5 again.
Under the direction of Professor Douglas Hedwig, the Brooklyn College Brass Ensemble began rehearsing a program of primarily American music. Comprised of original and traditional works, the selections represented a range of musical styles composed for a brass ensemble. While inherently American, the program was in rehearsal for presentation to British audiences. As a professional trumpeter, Hedwig had the occasion to meet the director of the brass program at London's Royal Academy of Music, John Wallis. After conducting a masterclass at Brooklyn College, Wallis invited Hedwig's brass ensemble to visit the prestigious Royal Academy of Music.
I think playing is worth a million words, and I think in brass playing, in brass teaching, we used far too many words, and I felt that would be worth thousands of words just to get your students to play with ours. We could learn a lot from them, and they hopefully could learn something from our students as well.
Wallis's extraordinary invitation evolved into a cooperative international exchange designed to present a series of concerts, educational workshops, and masterclasses.
My desire is to train fully educated musicians. And I felt that a foreign study, performance study program of this nature would support and enrich the more formal education my students receive at Brooklyn College. So you're starting to get some pitches too, you better watch out. I need those offbeats.
Developing practical, theoretical, and intuitive goals for this project was Hedwig's first task. The personal evolution of every musician relies on the ongoing development of technical proficiency, as well as the intellectual comprehension of the material being performed. The instructor must also analyze the effectiveness of his teaching.
I hope to gain from this experience more insight about how to draw out more and more achievement from my students. Right there. One. You need to be more in terms of the balance, the sonority. You're in the low part of the horn.
As important as choosing the right repertoire is to the success of the program, it is really just the beginning of the process. The months of practice that follow will bring the music to life, as seen in the ensemble's rehearsals of Robert Starr's Fanfare in 5.
Any of you two guys, you're in major seconds all the way, and it's not tuning, okay? You two guys. Ready, and.
Details such as breathing, fingering, intonation, rhythm, dynamics, vibrato, articulation, and phrasing must all be addressed to produce a polished musical performance.
That has got to be constant, whether you're holding long notes or counting rests. That's constant, okay? That's the surf underneath the surface, always. One. Okay, yes, 3.
The challenge of shaping these techniques into a style of playing which is appropriate to each piece of music confronts the players and conductor throughout the rehearsal period.
Behind. Let's do it again. If it can't be in tempo, we'll just take it out. You're doubling at the octave there. You understand? You two guys are doubling the octave. 1.
The rehearsal process is, first, about deconstruction, breaking a piece down to its fundamental components, and then polishing each facet.
Start with that. See where we go from there. Same thing. 1. It's rushing slightly, Marshall. 1, and. Okay, the second note of the slur needs to be full value. Who's better clapper? Can you give me? We'll take turns. My intention is to have my students be as fully connected to the music that they're performing as possible. And so sometimes encouraging them to clap or to sing some of the music more fully helps them internalize aspects of rhythm, pitch, intonation, chord balance. And indeed, it worked so well, I decided to incorporate that into our performance of the Starrer Fanfare.
The reconstruction phase follows, and the sound is reassembled into something meaningful and musically worthwhile. Here, imagery, historical perspective, and non-traditional creative rehearsal techniques prove invaluable. Yet, the rehearsal process is non-linear. It's cyclical in nature. Play, react, analyze, and then work different solutions which yield the most effective and artistic performance. There are times when a performing musician must attend to all the details of control, refinement, and expression, which can only come about through disciplined and focused rehearsal, analysis, and subsequent adjustment. This is what the months of preparation are for. But an essential part of the growth of effective musical expression is performance. Performance is part of the process, not just a final goal. In the early stages of planning this tour, Hedwig decided to schedule a concert at Brooklyn College about a week before departing for London. The friendly, less pressured environment provided an opportunity to receive feedback from an audience as a measure of how well the program was constructed. The crowded concert hall, the audience's quiet, attentive listening and enthusiastic applause made the group realize for the first time that they were effective in communicating something of real value.
We were very pleased with the response of the audience after that concert, but time was now getting short. We all realized that. I decided to play a tape of that concert for my players in the next rehearsal. This was really effective because it enabled them to hear themselves within the context of the whole ensemble.
During a rehearsal or even a performance, a player sometimes becomes more focused on a technical problem and less aware of the sound of the group and overall musical structure.
But you know what? This is about playing in an ensemble. I know you know this, but let me say it to everybody. If you're tired, if you're frustrated, for some reason you got an issue, it's not playing beautifully, you're not getting the sound that you want, you can't worry about that. Yep. You have to forget about that and be thinking about the group.